Green light, they're away.
And they're all in their positions, ready to go. There's the light up.
In true Mildura style.
The green light's on. It was a beautiful start.
He's trying to get across.
Hello, welcome to Burning Questions. A big show ahead. Today is July 24. We're going to have a good look at the Melton meeting on Saturday night. 8 races on the card. The first set to go at 5:34 p.m. Luke Dunne, Dan Mielicki and Andy Gath join us. We'll start with you, Luke. I can't remember the last time you were on. It's been a little while, but you've got a good little hand on the program this Saturday night. Welcome to the show.
No, thanks for having me, guys. A little while ago since I've been on here, but not my first time.
No, good stuff. Hey, just looking at your records at the moment, Luke, obviously training in partnership with your partner, Tori Hutchins. It's been a good little season, 16 wins. The team's going at 18%. Things are going pretty well at the moment.
Yeah, they're ticking along all right. Had a couple of horses do not a bad job so far for the year. And, there's a couple here in good numerical form at the moment. So they're paying their way. Hopefully they can just keep going like that.
51 wins as a driver this year. Your best was last year at 73. You're on track to beat that again and hopefully lock in a spot for the Young Gun Series on New Year's Eve?
Yeah, little goal for the year for myself was to try and drive 100 for the season. We've just ticked over halfway there and, hopefully we're on track and just keep chipping away.
Oh, good stuff. We'll go to you, Dan Mielicki. Really appreciate you jumping on. Been a little while for you as well. I've spent the last 3 Saturday nights with you and I've barely got to see you. We've just talked over the communication devices for the last 3, but nice to see your face here on Burning Questions.
Yeah, thank you, Tim. Always good to catch up with you. Yeah, we, despite communications in this era, we couldn't hear each other, could we, for each of those 3 weeks? Maybe that's a good thing, I don't know, but we had fun nonetheless.
We did. Andy Gath joins us. I reckon the Queensland Sun's given you a little tan. Andy, has it been kind to you?
Yeah, no, it was, and unfortunately, I got back to some of the worst weather possible here on Tuesday. So, it was a baptism of fire for me. But it's always good to be back home.
And you're going to chase the sun tonight, heading up to Ballarat, yeah?
Yeah, no, it'll be beautiful there, I reckon.
Actually, it is all right, as I'm looking at here. I'm not far from the track. Hey, let's get stuck right into it. Melton on Saturday night is where we're looking. APG's National Mix Sale is back again and coming to you twice in 2025, with the online auctions taking place in May and August and featuring weanlings, yearlings, stallions and broodmares. These 2 sales really do have a horse for everyone. Find all the details at apgold.com.au. The punters start with an opener that's hard. So can we help them on the first on the card? Race 1, as I said, 5:34 p.m. The encompassing mare's pace over the 17:20. Tell you what, wide open event here. I'll start with you here, Dan. We're not obviously involved in this race, but we can have a bet. I lent the way of Talara's Shadow in a really tricky race. I don't really like backing horses drawn inside back row, and particularly horses that are generally slow beginners, but I think her form's really good. So if the breaks come her way, I'll probably lean towards Talara's Shadow. How did you see it?
Yeah, well, she's an opportunist, but she possesses a really good turn of foot when she gets clear running. And I think it comes down to her getting clear running. If she does, she can be in the finish. But we saw a similar type of race to this last week, the race that Sweet Ideal won. And there was a lot of horses that just didn't have room to move in the straight. And it could be a similar scenario. I'm comfortable the best 2 horses, Jillaby, Illuminate and Look Like Diamonds, but I'm not sure they're going as good as they can, or certainly Look Like Diamonds' last couple of runs have been well below what I would consider her best, and that was either side of a little break, so there's a question mark. And even with Jillaby Illuminate, she was okay last start, but I thought she was at her top on the turn and really didn't finish the race off. She just plotted, battled away, so that might still be good enough to win this race, but it doesn't leave me with a lot of a confidence. I know the horse that Luke was on, Joe Got Rolled, I thought was very poor 2 starts ago, and last time out a bit inconclusive because it was one of those horses that didn't really get a clear crack at them. So it's very much a puzzling race. I think Talara's Shadow, if you're going to get double figure odds, if she gets the right run or she gets clear running on the last 100 metres, that might be all she needs to figure in the finish. So she might be the way to go each way.
Yeah, she almost always runs the best last half or last quarter, Dan. So it's just a matter of how handy she sits and if the breaks come. Andy has horse number 7 here, Nakula, outside front row, Andy. Don't think this horse is going at her best. maybe a comment on her current form and maybe your race tactics. She does have good gate speed, but it might be a tough ask from outside the front.
Yeah, she probably has been touched below her best, but this is the easiest race she's been in for a while. She's sort of been racing against the competition from bad draws, and she's just a brutal fence horse. She probably has to get on the fence to be any hope. Her runs aren't too bad. She sort of hits a flat spot, then she sort of gets going again in the straight. So obviously from the draw, Kate will go forward. She has got pretty good gate speed. Sometimes she just charges out herself anyway. She doesn't have much control over the first 100 metres. She, can get a bit headstrong, but she sort of found the pegs. She's an each way hope. If she doesn't find the pegs, she's up against it. But it was a really tricky race. I agree with Dan. The best two horses off the back row, but not sure they're going their best. But yeah, it's a tricky race. I think if you like anything, I can't put you off anything in this race. I just think, have a mystery bet maybe.
Yeah, well, maybe a boxed first four. There's obviously a $10,000 jackpot on the opener as well. Here, $50,000 projected pool. Luke Dunne drives horse number 4, Joe Got Rolled. Luke, I've put this horse in the basket of horses that have names that don't fit the sex. I reckon Joe Got Rolled sounds like a boy. But it goes around in the mare's pace. I'll tell you what, 3 starts ago, I can't remember if you were driving, but it was an incredible run from the back of the field at Bendigo, and then I was a bit like Dan, a bit disappointed 2 starts ago, and then a bit inconclusive last time out. You looked to have plenty of horse and couldn't get clear air. How do you think you're going to go on Saturday night?
Yeah, well, I didn't drive her in that run at Bendigo when she got home really well. To the eye, obviously I was at Mildura when she went round again and was probably a little bit disappointing when she ran 5th in that mare's final. But I was quite pleased with her run at Melton last week. I could get her to actually. She's always been a little bit funny to really want to get on with the job and get sort of bit angry and bit racy. And I got a good feel and she seemed like she was really forward again. Again, we didn't get clear running to really fully say that we're where we should be, but there was a lot. I think from what I felt in her favour, even just getting out the gate, she's never been a horse with a lot of natural gate speed, and she rolled out just quite comfortably next to Isolation, who's known to have a little bit of gate speed. And yeah, I can't really make too much of the race as all you guys have touched on. The better horses are probably a little bit out of form in the race of current, but probably some of the easier competition they've raced against for a little while now. So it's tricky. I'm not 100% sure what to do from the draw just based by she's not a horse that's known to have a lot of gate speed. But yeah, I'd say we're going to have to try and be somewhere positive and just lob handy enough. Haven't spoke with Zach about the race yet to see what his plan is. But yeah, it's a little bit tricky, but I'd love to be able to try and dive across to the fence there. And, I'd say that's where this sort of race looks like would be the best place to be. So, we'll just have to weigh it up and see. But, yeah, off her last run, I'd like to give her a little each way push.
Okay, good stuff. That's race 1, number 4, Joe Got Rolled. Pride's Easy Feed stand as a proud supporter of the harness racing industry with their set recipes and quality ingredients to give the trainer confidence in what they're feeding. So make the switch to Pride's and start getting the result you've been chasing. Question number 2. Luke teams up with All the Rage. So is this the time he salutes on the Saturday night stage? Look, I'm sorry to keep bringing this up, but you keep telling me every time I see you that you've driven plenty of winners at Melton, you've driven heaps of winners in your career, but you're yet to get one on a Saturday night at Melton. Yeah, no, it's been a bit of a tough ask for me. I've had a number of placings there and gone close a couple of times, but never been able to crack it on a Saturday night. I do remember there a while ago, very early on, when I was still in them under 25 win races, maybe even the under 10 win races. I think I won 6 weeks on a Friday night there, but still never cracked one on a Saturday. So, yeah, one metropolitan level races, but just not on a Saturday night. Yeah, well, I think you get a really good chance here. We spoke about this horse a couple of starts ago. I thought you had a good chance at odds, and the horse ran really well. Didn't get a lot of luck there, and you got out a bit late and hit the line pretty well behind maybe it was It's Confidential from memory. You draw the poll here with All the Rage. You're the clear class horse on rating. I'm sure you're wrapped with how it's panned out. I know you sort of targeted these no metro win races and the random barrier draw in particular, and it's gone your way. So talk us through your winning chances and what you might do at the start. I imagine you want to try and go all the way and take luck out of the equation.
Yeah, look, it'd be ideal to try and hold up and go all the way, but again, we've got to be a little bit realistic and going to have to drive the races it plays. There's enough respect there for a couple of other horses. You've got to remember we're all on the same page. We're all a Metro maiden, so there's no standout runner. There's like a couple of weeks ago, It's Confidential was in the race, and it was definitely the standout runner. It had good form in good races, but this race this week, I think there's a lot on par. The Iron Duke's been going really well and running on from ordinary draws, and it's been hitting the line really well. So it's got to be well respected. And same with Aaron's horse, Neat and Tidy. I think they're the next closest to, in my opinion. But again, if we do want to hold up and go all the way, you've got to have respect for Amy Day's horse on our back. It's a good little sit sprinter with that trip as well, and it showed it a couple of runs ago. So yeah, it's a little bit tricky, but he seems really well. He seems positive. I was happy with his run at Kilmore last Thursday. Sectionally went really well. Just the circumstances of the race didn't quite go his way, but it wasn't our grand final. It was just a bit of a blowout coming up the next couple of weeks with a random barrier draw. No metro wins. I think there's 3 in a row over the next month. So that's his aim, and yeah. Couldn't be happier with the draw, but we're just going to have to weigh our options up as it goes. But yeah, I definitely think he's got a good chance, and if it's going to be a week, it should be this week. I'd like to hope.
Yeah, good stuff. Thanks for the insight there, Luke. Good luck. All the Rage, race 3, number 1. Dan, we'll go to you. I'm with All the Rage. 650 quoted here in the form analysis. Don't know if we'll get that, but I'd love that because he'd be an each way play. How did you see the race?
Yeah, I think you're right. Each way play would be the way to go, All the Rage. 57 starts since he last drew barrier 1. That was July 2023. And he actually has the gate speed. I've seen on a few occasions where he's drawn, well enough. He leaves the gate well. So shows you the disparity with the ratings. I mean, him as 105, it's almost curtailed his opportunity to be a Metropolitan winner. He finds an ideal race, there's no doubt about that. But with all due respect, and Luke, he's not a 105 rated. He shouldn't be, and that's unfortunate. But it might be fortunate enough because you have found this race on Saturday night. Yeah, I think he's a terrific chance in a pretty even race where the barrier draws might really decide the end result.
Yeah. Andy, how did you see it? Kate's driving Planes in Heaven for Nathan Carr, another good little sit sprinter who's sort of probably up to a race like this with the right trip, but it is a wide open event. What would you do with $100 if I threw it your way?
I put it on Lukey Dunne. I think
straight out.
Yeah, no, I think it's I thought it went terrific at Kilmore. It's got the barrier draw. As I said, it's eluded it for a long time. Yeah, it's quite an even race. Obviously, he does a lot of his racing up north around Mildura and that, but he's a high-rated horse. He's won plenty of races. I think from the barrier draw, he can definitely get the job done.
Okay. Gee, we're all in the corner of Luke Dunne here. Don't muck it up, Luke. No, good luck. That is race 3 on the card on Saturday night. Logical Staffing Solutions provide labour hire and recruitment services to the transport, warehousing, automotive and manufacturing industries. The logical solution for your staffing needs. The Camperdown Comet has an incredible burst. So will she again go from last to first? I'm going to try and get this one to stick, Dan. Maybe you can help me out on Saturday night. The Camperdown Comet, we're talking about race 6, number 10, Sweet Ideal, Gary Lawler, Darryl Lawler. Gee, she was incredible last Saturday night, winning from, as you said in the call, Dan Rockbank. She was a mile off, and I didn't think she'd get there, but she did. I'll go to you first here, Dan. Looks another really suitable race. Over the middle trip, she's got the bad barrier, but she's got the class. Do you think she'll make it back-to-back wins?
I think she will. I mean, she stands out, but if she's going to be driven that way, I don't think she has to, but we do see her often driven that way with one sprint. She's terrific. It probably doesn't give her the time to hang in because we've seen her do that on a number of occasions, but maybe she's had more time to do that when she's gradually worked into the race. But yeah, awesome performance last week. Mind you, half the field were held up in behind other runners. But I'm not sure I've seen a horse wider making ground and still winning the race at Melton before. I think she's better than her opposition. I think it's as simple as that. I don't think there would be any argument here. It's just a matter of race shape and speed. If they go slow, tactically, is she able to make a move? Because I think she could and still be too good for them if it played out that way. But if they don't go that quick, and then they come home in a really fast quarter, it's a matter of, I suspect she'll be odds-on favourite. So that's the little concern that I've got. One-on-one, no problem. I think she stands out. Pace of the race and whether or not they would make the move are the little queries. Otherwise, if Hit the Road Jack led and Odin sat behind it, they're going to come home in a pretty sharp quarter.
Yeah, it's a really good point. Hit the Road Jack, draw on the inside, got the good gauge speed. You would assume they'd want to try and hold up and go all the way. It's won that way a few starts ago at Geelong. We'll come to you here, Andy. Yeah, look, we're probably going to have to take odds on, but, can you see a world where Sweet Ideal's beaten? I guess we can, but is she the clear on topper?
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. She's, she's a really good mare. She's getting better every start. And, just with Dan, I think, a couple of times she got a little bit keen in her races, and I think they'll probably still sit back regardless of the tempo. But I'm sure she, down in the future, you'll be able to use her in the race and she'll still be quite as good, I reckon. So that's the only risk you're taking, obviously, is the tempo of the race. But, she came from a position where we probably thought she couldn't win last weekend and still able to get the job done. It's not a brutal field. It's an okay field. But, I think in 6 months' time, you look back and see the horses in this field, she'll be the one that's progressed the most.
Yeah, I agree. Over to you, Luke. You in the Sweet Ideal camp as well?
Yeah, I think I am, just based by, like, her sectionals last week were outstanding. Obviously a wider barrier last week she's still drawn poorly enough this week, but she is going to be a couple of horses closer with a couple of less runners in the field. But I just feel like if Hit the Road Jack does hold up, his racing pattern does seem to be to roll along a little bit more than they're happy to sit up and take the speed out of the race. I think he's a horse that's got to be driven half positive, you could say. So if that's the case and she's running home in the half that she did last week, again, a couple of horses closer, and, let's say they're getting home in about 50, 55 and a half, I still think she could probably get over him. Her point-to-point speed is something very special. And, just, again, a couple of less horses in this field, and I feel like she could be a little bit closer and a little bit sharper again.
Yeah. We're all in the Sweet Ideal camp. Worth having a look at a story on the trots.com.au too, if you fancy. Adam Hamilton wrote a great piece with Gary Lawler talking about the breed. I think this horse is kind of 60 years in the making. It's been a long process to get this really good horse. So good luck to the Lawlers on Saturday night. Race 6 at 8:10 p.m. Fourth and final question. Lady Vici has been out for a break, but now she's back. Can she give this a shake? Lady Vici, race 7, number 5 for Joe Vasallo. James Herbertson returns from a spell. Got a picket fence line. Runs into some handy customers. Alrighty, drawn the pole for Andy Gath. And I also thought Kai Valley Maven, Barrier Fork for Chris Finozio, had a really good chance as well. I'll go straight back to you, Luke. You're not involved in this race. You know a bit about these horses. I thought it was a kind of a race in 3. Lady Vici looks very good. She's trialled well. But Andy's horse has the good gait, and we've seen a couple of starts ago led all the way to win a similar type event. So how do you see it?
I thought I hadn't had a close look, but I just thought I had a quick look through Lady Vici's form, and you can't fault it. Run some good enough time in there and whatnot, but I just thought with a couple of other runners that have got a few runs under her belt, considering first up, and I think for a little while now too. I really liked Alrighty from the draw. He made a mistake last start, but he can run a good mile. His pattern to roll along out in front, I think, makes it a little bit hard for Lady Vici, just considering drawn a little bit awkward. You can't fault her form, but I just think it's a little bit tricky with the draw, considering it's over the mile as well, with a little bit of speed around her. So I was sort of leading towards Alrighty from the inside.
Yeah. I'll go to you, Andy. What's your thoughts? Are you confident enough? As we said 2 starts ago, met a similar sort of field, led all the way and won pretty convincingly. A horse that chased you home there, Hoppy's come out and won impressively last night at Bendigo. So the form stacks up. And I actually thought, while there's a 7 in the form guide, I thought Alrighty actually went pretty well after making a little blue at the start last time.
Yeah, I didn't see that. I was in Brisbane and walked away in disgust when my driver made him gallop out the gate. I didn't see him finish off that good. No. But, he's had 2 trials and got back in the draw and trialled quite good on Monday night. It's the ideal situation for Alrighty. Barrier 1 over the short distance, which he just loves. He can run a solid mile. He just sort of gets out there and runs his own time. But every time you win, it's a step up in class. He's only had the 11 starts and he's only a 3-year-old taking on older seasoned horses. Lady Vici's only had the 6 starts, but won the last 5. She's a little bit funny in the score up. She doesn't always score up and she's got to chase it sometimes. So that's always a little risk and first up. So Kai Valley Maven's going good. Mary Mac's always a chance. It's quite an even field, but I've been pretty confident that my horse is the one to beat from the barrier draw.
Yeah, no, I think going to be very hard to beat. I'll come to you here, Dan. Just a word on Kai Valley. Every time I talk to someone attached to the Chris Venozia stable, they tell me how good Kai Valley Maven is. Ross Payne in the post-race Saturday night, I asked him about gut feelings, and, I felt like he put Kai Valley Maven ahead of that horse. Chris Venozia has been positive. I even spoke to Jason Lee. They had the horse for a little period of time there recently, and they were talking it up as a really, really good horse. Maybe not the best horse on their property, but not far behind. So it'll be a little disappointing at times, Kai Valley Maven. I thought he could have won a race at Melton a couple of starts ago, but he did win in good style last time out. So I'm probably leaning Kai Valley Maven's way based on hype, but when it all boils down to it, Alrighty, he's going to be very hard to beat from the draw.
Look, when he trots well, he usually wins. There's been some vulnerability about him because he's not a perfectly gated square gator, but I thought last time out he was terrific, and he looks like he's on song. As Luke said, he's hard fit, and it's a huge advantage by being hard fit, particularly at a metropolitan grade, which I would consider this race 2B, because there's some smart horses in it. Lady Vici, look, her trial was pretty good. She can get off the gate really well, and she's got a terrific record as it's there for everyone to see. But it's so hard to win first up when you're getting to a metropolitan level, probably more so with the paces than it is the trotters. But the difference would be getting to the pegs and not getting to the pegs. If you don't have to use too much petrol to get to the pegs, because she has got a bit of speed. I wouldn't say she's a quick beginner, but she's a good beginner. If she got across, that could be the difference. If she doesn't, I think that would make her vulnerable. So it's almost a 50-50, but I'm in the corner of Kai Valley Maven because he doesn't have to lead. I think he's a pretty strong horse, and he should be able to cope sitting parked over 1,700 if indeed he ends up in that position. Alrighty, very hard to beat. I tell you a horse that I gave a little bit of a chance to. I just thought it went a lot better last start, and it's long odds, but it might fill a place, is Naked Truth. That might even be a chance of leading you, Andy. Might be a little chance, but I thought at odds it might have some rough hope.
Yeah, no, I agree. Just get off the gate really well. Interesting race. I'll go with Kai Valley Maven. That's probably another horse maybe in the bracket of Maven. Sounds like a girl to me, but he's not. It's tricked me a few times, that one. Great stuff. Really good insights, guys. Now, the most important part of the show, though, is the Sharps Bakery Best Bets segment. Who will I start with? I might start with you, Dan. You've gone deep into the form. I reckon you're in good form on the tip. What are you going to do for us on Saturday night? Best bet, please.
It's hard to not have Sweet Ideal as the best, but we're still unaware of what price she's going to be. If she comes up $1.30, is anyone here wanting to back her at that price? So that's the little reservation I have as to how short she might be. I think the Quinella of Yambuckian and 888 might be the way to go. Again, it'll be short, but I just can't see them being split. And I think my best each way is going to be Little Louis, race 2, number 7. I think even barrier number 7's a positive draw for him. I think he's a terrific each way chance in race 2.
Great. Thanks, Dan. Andy, over to you. What are you doing? One of your stable runners, maybe alrighty, or putting the pressure on someone else, maybe even a Luke Dunne?
Yeah, no, I won't do it to Luke. I'll let him tip himself actually. But no, I'll stick with Jan Buckian. As Dan said, Triple Eight's been probably unlucky not to beat me the last few times, just the way the race shape worked out. But Jan Buckian's in career best form. He can make his own luck, and not a lot of depth in this race. So you'll definitely find the death and might even find the top. Who knows?
Yeah. Pressure's on Kate, though, isn't it? With Geordie Leadham just churning out the wins with Jan Buckian.
Yeah, no, I think they've been waxing one off, one on. So, they're having it in turns with all these wins.
Yeah, no, I agree. He's going to be very hard to beat, and you'll get the death, and he might even get the top, as you said. Race 5, number 9, Jan Buckian for Andy Gath. Luke Dunne, what are you going to do? Come on, go yourself here. All to rage. Race 3, number 1.
No, I was looking elsewhere. As I said, I was a bit unorganised, so I just had a quick glance over, and I like Louis Luai. Had a nice little trail and draw there. He's been runner-up his first 2 runs back, and I see in the steward's report last week, the plugs failed to release, and he was only beaten a metre, and he's done a bit of work, I think, in both them runs, and it's going to be a little bit different for him a little bit further back, but his runs have been really well, and obviously he's drawn a little bit more poor this week, but I think that's because he's just dropping back a little bit in company. Obviously, there's still some nice horses in the field, but he's been really well, very forward, and I give him a little bit of a push at maybe around the $4.50, $5 mark.
Yeah, good call. Race 2, number 9, Louis Luai. I split the 2 Louis. I went with the 7, Little Louis there, but Louis Luai, great chance. Good push from Luke and Dan. My best bet, it comes up in the last race, and I've already told someone about this, and they shook their head. They couldn't believe it, but I reckon he's been ready to win for a while, this horse. Magic Mike, race 8, number 4. And I thought he was entitled to sort of box on last time out in that strong free-for-all. I think he chased home Jillaby Nitro. But he did a pretty good job, and he starts prior. He's been ducking and weaving through and hitting the line hard. His form a few months ago was ordinary, and that's been nice. He's just turned the corner, I reckon. So, suitable race. Race 8, number 4, Magic Mike. He's $8 here. Maybe we go each way. So that's my play for the best bets. Hey, Dan, Andy, and Luke, really appreciate you jumping on Burning Questions. Good luck on Saturday night. I'm going to have a weekend off, Dan, so I might have to catch up with you in a few weeks, but good calling.
Thank you, Tim. Yeah, lovely to join Luke, and good luck with your first winner. It might come up early and surprise everyone, but Joe got rolled anyway, Luke. So good luck with that. And Andy, good to have you back, mate, and enjoying the cold with the rest of the hard workers.
I'll see you tonight, Andy.
See you there, Top.
And thanks for jumping on, Luke. Good luck.
No worries. Thank you.
Green light, they're away.
And they're all in their positions, ready to go. There's the light up.
In true Mildura stock.
The green light's on. It was a beautiful start of.
He's trying to get